80% lupa, 15% semento, plus 5% bakal equals pera. Ano po dapat yung reinforcing bars nitong revetment na ito? Kasi po wala eh. Kahit na po siguro kawayan lang, wala yan eh. Tatagal po ba ito, Secretary? Itong ganito?
Hindi siguro, Your Honor. I think this is a failure of the structure in itself.
So, dapat wala nang siguro. Tsakin mo. Tatagal ba ito?
Hindi po.
Alam po nyo kung saan ito?
Sino-sino ang kumita habang libu-libong Pilipino ang nalulunod sa baha? Mr. Chair, we cannot hide behind technicalities anymore. Names must be named, heads must roll. The Filipino people are tired of endless excuses and lies while corruption continues to thrive.
40% ang ibinabayad agad sa mga contractor at kay proponent kahit hindi pa po tapos ang project o kahit hindi pa gawa ang project at gagawa po sila ng mga fake accomplishment report. Doktor. Yan po yung example lamang kung paano po binabalasubas ang pera para sa flood control.
I would like just to ask one question. Are the contractors that were invited by this committee present? Are all of them present here?
I think 11 responded, but only 7, according to the Director General, managed to send representatives.
Why, what happened?
Karamihan sa kanila, Senator Jinggoy, nagkasakit lahat. Iba siguro ni nervyos. Sana lang. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ng naririto ngayon sa pag-uumpisa ng ating pagdinig sa isang pinaka-controversial na paksa. Ang usapin patungkol sa mga flood control projects na pinagmagatang The Philippines Underwater. On August 11, 2025, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. disclosed deeply troubling findings from an initial government review of flood control projects implemented so far during his administration. The President revealed that only 15 contractors have cornered approximately 100 billion worth of flood control projects, representing 20% of the total 545.6 billion pesos allocated for some 9,855 flood control projects from July 2022 to May 2025. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee convenes today for this motu proprio inquiry into serious allegations of malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance concerning the award and implementation of flood control projects that have been disproportionately concentrated among a select group of contractors. Napapanahon na para alamin at himayin ang katotohanan sa likod ng mga maanomalyang nakapalibot sa mga kontratang inilaan para sa flood control. Tama na ang pagpapaikot at paglihis sa tunay na problema. Tungkulin natin ngayong bigyang linaw at sagot ang mga kababalaghang nangyayari sa mga kontratang pinasok ng gobyerno at ang mga private contractors. The root of the issue before us boils down to the rampant corruption entangled with the core of our government. Tila sakit na kanser na siyang unti-unting sumisira sa ating bansa. Records will show that billions are spent every year to fund flood control projects that are supposed to control or mitigate flooding in our country. The magnitude of this issue cannot be understated. Funds are wasted over questionable projects. Lives and properties are lost due to failures in flood control. Enough is enough. Pagod na ang mamamayang Pilipino na lumikas mula sa kanilang mga tahanan sa maghakot ng kagamitan upang makaligtas sa panganib na dulot ng rumaragasang tubig. We should not accept this misfortune simply as effects of climate change. It will never be a valid justification for our failure to provide strong and protective shields against something inevitable but preventable. The Netherlands is 25 to 30% below sea level. Yet its innovative people gifted the world with engineering solutions to flood problems. We have a choice. Either we adopt the best practices of the Netherlands or we settle a poor copy of Venice in the Orient. As members of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, we're duty-bound under the Constitution to conduct inquiries in aid of legislation. Our mandate extends beyond mere investigation. We must examine whether existing laws and regulations governing public procurement, project implementation, and infrastructure development are adequate and properly enforced. The potential violations under scrutiny include government procurement laws, Republic Act 3019, Republic Act 6713, and various DPWH and DBM procurement guidelines and circulars. The committee seeks to, number one, establish the facts surrounding the concentration of flood control contracts among 15 contractors and beyond, if warranted. Two, examine compliance with procurement laws, regulations, and due process requirements. Three, investigate probable irregularities in bidding processes, technical specifications, and project awards. Four, assess the quality and effectiveness of completed flood control projects. Five, identify systemic weaknesses in government procurement and project monitoring. Six, determine accountability for any malfeasance, misfeasance, or nonfeasance. Number seven, recommend legislative measures to prevent similar occurrences and strengthen oversight mechanisms. The committee shall conduct these proceedings guided by the following principles. Transparency. All proceedings shall be conducted in full view of the public with complete documentation and live coverage where appropriate. Due process. All resource persons and parties shall be afforded their constitutional rights, including the right to counsel and protection against self-incrimination. Impartiality. This committee approaches this inquiry without predetermined conclusions, committed only to uncovering the truth based on evidence and testimony. Public interest. Our primary consideration is the protection of public funds, the delivery of effective flood control solutions, and an end to the suffering of the Filipino people. During the course of this inquiry, we expect to hear from officials from the Department of Public Works and Highways, representatives from Department of Budget and Management, recommendations from then Commission on Audit, representatives from the 15 contractors identified by President Marcos Jr. in press conference dated 11 August 2025. We shall examine procurement documents and bidding records, project implementation reports and certifications, financial records, comparative analysis of project costs and effectiveness. Hindi madali ang usaping ito. Hindi ko rin nanaising patagilin ang pagdinig tungkol dito. Hindi ito plataforma para magpasikat o magpalakas tayo sa mga tao. Lalong hindi ito pamumulitika o pagsira sa reputasyon ng kahit sino. Nais ng kumiting ito na gawing makabuluhan at produktibo ang bawat pagdinig ng ating gagawin. May I remind our resource persons to cooperate fully and answer truthfully. And please don't be too smart. Confucius said that if you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. I request my colleagues to efficiently manage our time as we clarify matters from our resource persons. Let us veer away from repetitive statements and questions that may unnecessarily prolong our inquiry. We owe it to our people. Tandaan natin na bawat dam o dike na itinatayo ay galing sa pera ng bawat Pilipino. Bilang mga mambabatas, responsibilidad po nating magsulong ng mga kaukulang batas na makapagpapabago sa mga nakalakaran sa gobyerno para sa ikabubuti ng bansa. Hindi tayo narito bilang hukom na uusig sa mga naglipa ng kawatan, kundi tungkulin nating alamin at usisain ang pinaggagamitan ng ating pinasang tao ng budget. It is our duty to get to the bottom of this. Kahit sisirin pa natin ito kung kinakailangan. No stone shall be left unturned and no one shall be spared. Pagtulungan po nating hanapin ang katotohanan at tuluyang makapaglatag ng epektibo at pangmatagal ang solusyon sa suliranin natin sa pagbaha. Kahit mahirap o tila imposible, pero sa tulong ng bawat isang Pilipino na may pakialam at pagmamahal sa kanyang bansa, ito ay tiyak nating may pagtatagumpay. Maraming salamat po. I now declare this hearing officially open. The President of the Philippines made initial observations and findings in regard to the subject matter of the present inquiry. The amount of some 100 billion pesos or 18% of the entire 545 billion budget for flood control projects between July 2022 to May 2025 was awarded to only 15 out of 2,409 accredited contractors in the country. Question: is this statement of the President fair? Silence means acquiescence. So, Chairman notes that all present today agrees to the statement of the President. And the 15 contractors referred to were invited as early as last Saturday, Director General, Friday, and on at least 7 of them replied and sent representatives this morning. Legacy Construction Corporation, Alpha and Omega General Contractor and Development Corporation, St. Timothy Construction Corporation, UM Builders, EGB Construction Corporation, Top-Notch Catalyst Builders, Inc., Centerways Construction and Development, Inc., SunWest, Inc., Highton Construction and Development Corporation, 888 Construction and Supply, Inc., Royal Crown Monarch Construction and Supplies Corporations, Wawo Builders, MG Samidan Construction, LRTK Builders, Inc., and Road Edge Trading and Development Services. These 15 contractors were mentioned by the President. The President also noted that 5 of these 15 contractors have projects in almost all regions nationwide. He mentioned Legacy Construction Corporation, Alpha and Omega General Contractors and Development Corporation, St. Timothy Construction Corporation, EGB Construction Corporation, and Road Edge Trading and Development Services. Is the President correct? Your silence is also acquiescence. So the President fairly reported this accurately. Wala pong problema so far? The President also noted that there appears a mismatch between the most flood-prone areas based on National Adaptation Plan of the Philippines 2023-2025. Kasi yung mga flood-prone areas nasa ating National Adaptation Plan of the Philippines. Ito po yung mga probinsya ng Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Pangasinan, Tarlac, Bulacan, Metro Manila, Maguindanao, North Cotabato, Oriental Mindoro, and Ilocos Norte. These are the flood-prone areas. As opposed to the top 10 provinces awarded with the highest number of flood control projects by the DPWH. Bulacan, 668 flood control projects. Cebu, 414. Isabela, 341. Pangasinan, 313. Pampanga, 292. Albay, 273. Leyte, 262. Tarlac, 258. Camarines Sur, 252. Ilocos Norte, 224 flood control projects. This shows that only 4 Among those considered flood-prone areas, ang nandito pong nabigyan ng kaukulang mga projects. The rest ay wala po sa flood-prone areas. This is the initial observation of the President. Is his observation fair enough to you? Meron po bang gustong kumontra sa observation ng President? So silence is acquiescence. Ang sabi pa ng Pangulo, more than 350 billion or 6,021 flood control projects do not specify the exact type of flood control that is being built. Halimbawa po, kung repair works yun, o kaya cut-off channel, o dikes, o drainage structures, flood mitigation structures, retarding basins, revetment, slope protection spur dikes, waterways, or embankments. Walang ganun eh. Sabi niya, hindi mo lang dinidescribe ito eh. 350 billion worth of projects defy basic description. Or 6,021 flood control projects. Many of these projects are in different locations but have exactly the same contractor and contract cost. This is disturbing. This is one of the initial observations of the President. Do you believe this is also a fair assessment? Oh, walang kumikibo sa ating mga resource person. I think this is a fair assessment coming from the office of the President. Meron pong ginawang actual na inspection ang Pangulo. In Kalumpit, Bulacan. Lumabas po ito sa mga dyaryo. Initial inspection showed the dike appeared to have not followed the right specifications, sabi po dun sa dyaryo, of materials and also appeared to have gaps in the dike that made it incomplete. Nagpakuha po ng scuba divers ang Presidente. This is what they call tactile inspection. Nakita po nila doon ang ito po nakalagay. Scuba divers were dispatched to assess the flood control project. They reported that the concrete underwater was of varying thickness and was shaddily built. The divers also reported the steel reinforcement were not driven into the river, so water is still flowed underneath. Let us break that down. Ang ibig pong sabihin nito, kahit kami po hindi naman inhinyero, karaniwang po sa inyo lahat ngayon ay engineer. Hindi po nasunod yung specification. Dito lamang po lumilitaw yung mga tinatawag na seat piles. Hindi po ibinaon sa tamang lalim. Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Karaniwan po, and I think you will all agree, 6 meters po yung seat piles eh. Talaga pong pipiliting ibaon yun. Yung 5 na metro ibabaon mo, maring ang lilitaw na lamang na nakikita mo is 1 meter. What is the significance of that? Kasi kinakailangan ma-address mo yung scouring ng river. Pag hindi umabot, ando sa punto na yung cascading waters will be gradually eroding the soil. Ang lalabas nun, nakabitin na yung inyong nakabitin na yung seat piles na kunwari ibinaon nyo ng 5 meters. Ano mangyayari kung nakikita na po yun? Babagsak po talaga yung slope protection na inilagay ninyo. Ito yung kaawa-awang kalagayan nito eh. Nakita pa po yung Upon tactile inspection, the drivers found that the beam was no longer connected to the seat pile support. Yung beam na sinasabi niya, this is the apron. Tama po ba yun? The apron is the basic structure that will hold the seat piles. Kung wala po yung apron na yon na magkukonect dun sa slope, walang integrity yung project na ito. Babagsak at babagsak ito. Mamaya po meron kaming ipakikita sa inyo kung bakit ganito kalala ang problema ng ating bansa. Ready ba yung isang slide natin para makita lang yung karon tayo po ng idea kung ano yung revetment. Ito kasing binisita po ng Pangulo, embankment po ito, diki po ito eh. Yung embankment po, pangkaraniwan pagka diki, ginagamit din kahit na mga tricycle lang, mga motor nakakadaan. Pero dapat merong slope protection yun eh. Pagka yung embankment lang, pagkatapos yung binaon yung bakal, wala pa rin, magigiba yun. Ready po ba tayo doon sa isang slide? Para magkaroon. Ayan po. Ano po yung tawag dyan, Secretary Bunuan? Di ba revetment yan?
Revetment, Your Honor.
Ayan po, ang kaawa-awang kalagayan ng revetment, meron pa pong nota dyan sa nagbigay sa akin. 80% lupa, 15% semento, plus 5% bakal equals pera. Ano po dapat yung reinforcing bars nitong revetment na ito? Kasi po wala eh. Kahit na po siguro kawayan lang, wala yan eh. Tingnan po ninyo. Wala pa po tubig ito. It's supposed to be, siguro medyo river po ito eh. Tatagal po ba ito, Secretary? Itong ganito?
Hindi siguro, Your Honor. I think this is a failure of the structure in itself.
So, dapat wala nang siguro. Tsakin mo. Tatagal ba ito?
Hindi po.
Alam po nyo kung saan ito? Kayang-kaya naman po ninyong ma-identify. Nasaan po yung mga district engineers nyo para wag na po sabihin kung kanino galing yan. Kasi malalaman din po natin yun eh. Why do you think the contractor of this project adopted this kind of anomalous activity? Marami pong ibig sabihin yan eh. Meron tayong kasabihan, Chair Erwin, the picture paints 1,000 words. Dito po, hindi words, perang nakalagay. 80% lupa plus 15% semento, 5% pera, 5%. 5% bakal, ano daw, Chairman? Oo nga, equals? This is a microcosm of the projects. I think this completely represents the project na ginagawa po ngayon. Kaya wala po talagang mangyayari sa mga projects. Ang contractor po nito ay St. Timothy Construction Corporation. Nandito po ba ang representative? Ang sinasabi ko po yung kalumpit. Hindi ko po sinasabi ito. Ito ano lang po ito. Ibang project po ito. Pinakikita ko lang para magkaroon po ng idea ang mga kababayan natin kung sila'y sumusubaybay sa atin. Pero yung sinasabi natin sa Kalumpit, Bulacan kanina, ang contractor po, ito yung embankment is St. Timothy Construction Corporation. Meron po bang representative ngayon? The representative is one Miss Maria Roma Angeline Rimando. Nandyan po ba kayo, Madam? Nawala po kayo? Kanina po. Wala. Wala pala sila. Before we continue, let me acknowledge the presence of Senator Joel, our Majority Leader. Before I continue, some of my colleagues would like to make short opening statements, no longer than 2 minutes. Please. Let me acknowledge also the arrival of Senator Bam Aquino. Any one of my colleagues who want to...
First one to arrive.
2 minutes, sir. Thank you.
1 minute lang, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, good morning. Good morning, everyone, our resource persons. Good morning po. I just would like to quote the very famous impression made by our majority leader, Senator Joel Villanueva. According to him, na kung itong ating flood control funds, no? Pondo na dedicated to flood control, divided by the number of days in 1 year, which is 365 days, it will amount to 1 billion pesos per day. Government expenditure dedicated to flood control projects only. So, sa ordinaryong tao, pag ito'y kanilang narinig, talagang lalong-lalo na, including me, at lalong-lalo na yung mga taong kasalukuyang nabibiktima sa mga baha. Iniisip nila na sana yung 1 billion a day na yan, binigay na lang yan sa amin at kami na ang gumagawa ng flood control dito sa aming lugar para ma-mitigate yung sitwasyon na ito. But anyway, we are not entirely blaming everything to the projects. We have a plethora of reasons bakit nangyayari ito. Meron tayong climate change, meron tayong sinasabing yung reclamation and other reasons. Pero yun nga, sa ordinaryong tao, kailangan maklaro natin ito. Kaya ako, personally, for myself, and I hope the chairman and the rest of the members of this committee would share with me in my quest na sana during this hearing, establish talaga natin ito for the benefit of our people na nanonood ngayon. Number one, these are not ghost projects. Number two, sana itong mga project na ito ay hindi ito yung quasi-physical and quasi-spiritual. Meaning yung project na sinimulan lang pakilang tao, then afterwards, pinabayaan, wala nang nangyari. At kung number three, kung ito ay talagang ang estado nito mga proyekto na ito ay fully implemented, physically implemented, did it serve its purpose? Bakit patuloy pa rin yung baha? So, yun po mga Mr. Chairman, ang gusto nating malaman today, and I hope I hope that all our resource persons would cooperate 100% in this Senate investigation, because itong mga aming committee ng Blue Ribbon Committee, we are not witch hunters here. We are not ghostbusters. We are truth seekers. So in our quest for the truth, sana you play a very vital role para makamit natin ang katotohanan dito para sa ating inang bayan. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you for your 2.5 minutes, Senator Bato. Following the order of arrival, I will call on Senator Rapi Tulfo for his 2 minutes.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Ako po ay magbibigay ng senaryo kung paano po mahilentulad sa karneng baka sa palengke ang ilang bilyones na napupunta sa flood control. At kung paano po ito kinakatay, sinachap-chap, at niluluto. Nagsisimula po yan sa isang proponent na kung saan ay kakate po siya ng say 20 billion pesos mula sa NEP, BICAM, and ang program appropriation. Now, itong proponent na ito ay dadalhin niya ang 20 billion na nakatay niya dun sa mga nabanggit ko, NEP, BICAM, and program sa Region 4B. Na kung saan ang regional director doon ay isang nagngangalan Mr. Gerald Pakanan, excuse me. Now, yung 10 billion, si proponent na ang gagawa ng project dahil meron naman siyang kumpanya na nagkukontrata. So, ibig sabihin siya po isang contract. So, hindi na po natin malaman kung magkano eksakto ang kanyang kikitain doon sa 10 billion. Pero, ang estimate po, abot ng 60%, kita niya, 40% na lang mapupunta sa project. Ano mangyayari po doon sa 10 billion na titira? Siyempre, kukunin po yun ni Mr. Pakanan. At yung 5 billion, si Mr. Pakanan na po ang gagawa ng project dahil meron din po siyang sariling kumpanya na nangungontrata. And of course, doon sa 5 billion niya, magbibigay siya ng 28% SOP sa proponent. Now, anong mangyari doon sa 5 billion na natitira na? Yun po ay bibigay ni Mr. Pakanan sa kanyang mga kaibigang kontraktor.
Ako.
And of course, again, si proponent kikita po ng 28%. Si Mr. Pakanan kikita ng 18%. Yung mga kontraktor, of course, kikita din yun, 30%. Alisin po natin dyan yung 7% para sa tax sa BIR o VAT. At meron pa pong 3.5% para sa tinatawag na EAO, Engineering and Administrative Overhead. Kasama po dyan bids awards committee at kung ano na pa. So 3.5%. I-add nyo po yung total, 86.5%. Magkano lang po napupunta sa project? 13.5%. Ganun po yung kalokohang nangyayari dyan sa Region 4B. Now, kunti na lang Mr. Chairman. 40% ang ibinabayad agad sa mga kontraktor at kay proponent kahit hindi pa po tapos ang project o kahit hindi pa gawa ang project at gagawa po sila ng mga fake accomplishment report, dinodoktor. Yan po yung example lamang kung paano po binabalasubas ang pera para sa flood control na dapat po ay imbestigahan ng committee to sa susunod po ng mga hearing. By the way, isang Ryan Altea ang nagpakilala dito kay Mr. Gerald Pakanan doon sa isang proponent. So, ibig sabihin ito si Mr. Altea ay well connected na ngayon po ay na-promote pa. Daming kalokong ginagawa, na-promote at siya po ngayon ay isang director sa main office. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. For the record, that's 3 minutes.
Oh,
Before I continue, let me acknowledge the arrival of our Senate President pro tempore, Jingo Estrada. So let's continue with Senator Erwin Tulfo. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
545.64 billion pesos of flood control. This is nothing less than a grand robbery of our nation. Sa salitang kalye, pagnanakaw to the max. DPWH officials, contractors, and their cohorts in public office need not explain anymore because we already have an answer why year after year flood waters still drown our communities while their bank accounts are flooded with taxpayers' money.
Grabe naman
Bago
yan.
pa man may sakatuparan ang isang proyekto, hinihinga na po ng 20 hanggang 25% na komisyon ang mga kontratista, masaklap po ng ilang mga politiko. Yan po ang dahilan kung bakit substandard o palpak ang mga proyekto at karamihan ay ghost projects na. Ang sistemang ito dumadaan mula sa politiko, undersecretaries, regional director, district engineer hanggang sa project engineers. At sa bawat opisyal na dadaanan pa ng flood control project na ito ay nakakaltasan pa ito ng 2 hanggang 5%. Halimbawa, kung ang proyekto ay pinondohan ng 100 milyon, nasa 40 to 30 milyon na lang po ang halaga nito pag nagawa na dahil sa mga komisyon o kickback simula sa itaas hanggang sa ibaba. At kadalasan ay ghost project na lang ang flood control.
Naku po.
Let me ask, sino-sino ang kumita habang libu-libong Pilipino ang nalulunod sa baha? Mr. Chair, we cannot hide behind technicalities anymore. Names must be named, heads must roll. The Filipino people are tired of endless excuses and lies while corruption continues to thrive. Ilan sa mga government projects ng DPWH ay sila mismo ang gumagawa o tumitira nito na kung tawagin nila ay in-house construction. At ang resulta ng in-house construction na ito ay ghost projects nga.
Naku.
Ilan kasi sa mga opisyal dyan ay mga kontratista o di kaya mga construction company. Ito ang dahilan kung bakit napakaraming mga bilyonaryo at bilyonarya sa DPWH na nagmamayari ng eroplano, daan-daang milyong halaga ng mansyon sa mamahaling subdivision sa Metro Manila. May kasama pa pong kasino. At kapag natalo sa kasino o sa sabong, hindi niya nararamdaman kahit milyon ang talong. This committee, Mr. Chair, must not only expose the truth, but also ensure that those guilty are punished, whether they are past or present officials, contractors or protectors in higher office. Kung may nakinabang dito, hindi po ang bayan, kundi ang mga magnanakaw sa pamahalaan. And today, this Blue Ribbon Committee, Mr. Chair, shall make sure that this is the day of reckoning. Tamaan na po ang tamaan, kaibigan, kasamahan, kamag-anak o matataas na opisyal. Justice must be served. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Ganun dapat.
Thank you, Senator Erwin. Sabi mo, names must be named. Sana sinabi mo na yung mga pangalan ng mga politiko eh. Pero may oras ka pa naman, maya-maya ng konti. Kung may listahan ka dyan, banggitin na natin lahat ang mga dapat banggitin.
Panggitin natin yan.
I now recognize Senator J.B. Ejercito for his opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This will be very brief. Of course, we would want to start with the questions already and si clarification already. Sa nakikita ko po, Mr. Chair, na pag-usapan na po, nabanggit niyo po na 350 billion ang taon-taong budget, pero parang hindi po natin nakikita. We cannot fight nature, but yung po mga flood control projects, dapat sa lalong madaling panahon, dapat na ilalabas ka agad ang tubig. Yun po ang importante. Ang katanungan ko lang po, doon sa 350 billion, saan po ba ito napupunta? Yan ang gusto natin malaman. Nasusunod ba yung master plan kung meron nga ba? Pero simple lang po ang aking analysis, Mr. Chair, sa 350 billion, nabanggit ninyo kanina, yung flood-prone provinces, areas, may mismatch po kung saan napupunta yung bulk ng mga proyekto na flood control. Mr. Chair, kung hindi nasusunod ng flood ang ating pong master plan, kung pinaghahati-hatian ng bawat distrito ang flood control management, ang mangyayari po niyan ay patsi-patsi po talaga ang ating proyekto. In flood-prone areas like Central Luzon, magmula Tarlac, Pampanga, Bulacan hanggang Metro Manila, ang kailangan po natin dyan ay mga floodways, spillways, water impounding areas, and strategic pumping stations para talagang mailikas o imalabas ang tubig. Pero kung panay slope protection, drainage improvement at iba pang maliliit na program na proyekto lamang ang ating makikita, ay hindi natin talaga mahanapan ng mabibigyan ng solusyon ang pagbabaha. Siguro simple lang, Mr. Chair. Tayo po at yung mga opisyal, hindi po tayo biktima. Ang nakakaawa, yung mga biktima na pagbabaha na pinaghirapan po nila, sasakyan, motorsiklo, ay taon-taon. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, pangatlong taon na tayo mula akong nakabalik. 3 taon na itong inaano ng ating majority leader. Siya po yung nagagalit na rito dahil siya po yung taga Bulacan. Pare-pareho ang issue, pare-pareho ang sagot. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair. Pag pinaghati-hatian, patsi-patsi po talaga. Yung tubig po, hahanap ng lulusutan at lulusutan. Yung hindi po buo ay talagang magbabaha pa rin. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator JV. I forgot the tradition. I'm sorry, I'm a neophyte senator. I am guided by the tradition that the ex officio officers should first be given priority in their opening statement. So I call on the majority leader, Joel Villanueva.
Thank you to our principal, and siguro with that, the majority leader and the SPPT would get additional 30 seconds, Mr. Chairman. But kidding aside, Mr. Chairman, may I just direct the attention of everyone to the screen? Maikling-maikli lang po ito. We can play this video, please.
Hindi tama, palpak ang ating flood control program. Meron po tayong 183 billion na budget ang DPWH alone. Hindi kasama ang DENR, hindi kasama ang ilang ahensya ng pamahalaan. And yet, tingnan nyo, dito sa Bulacan, about 1.7 billion. Pero halos lahat po ng towns, lubog. Dito sa Kalumpit, lahat ng barangay, lubog. Dun sa Hagonoy, lahat ng barangay, lubog.
Mr. Chairman, ito pong video na ito ay hindi ngayong taon, hindi nung isang taon, kung hindi almost more than 2 years ago, Mr. Chairman, August 1, 2023. Kasama po dun sa video na yon yung aming gobernador, Governor Daniel Fernando, Mayor Lem, na Kalumpit, Bulacan. And just recently, the President went there. Kasama pa rin si Governor at si Mayor, at nakita pa rin, Mr. Chairman, na wala hong nangyayari and it's getting worse. Another video that I'd like to share, Mr. Chairman, can we play the next video? Very short lang, Mr. Chair.
Pero wala ko silang...
Si Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva gigil na gigil dahil drawing lang umano ang napala sa apela nilang proyekto kontra baha. Gayong may 183 billion pesos na pondo ang DPWH ngayong taon.
Nagboto po. Study. It took them 2 years bago magawa yung feasibility study. After na magawa yung feasibility study, ginawa ba? Hindi po. Ngayon ba ginagawa? Hindi din.
Pero bukod sa flood control budget, meron ding flood mitigation at foreign assisted project funds ang DPWH na pag pinagsama-sama, papalo sa 280.6 billion pesos ngayong taon at 265 billion pesos sa 2024.
Mr. Chairman, August 9 po yan, 2023. 2025 na po ngayon, Mr. Chairman. At nakakalungkot po, Mr. Chairman, dahil sabi nga po ni Senator JV, 3 taon na po na para ho akong sirang plaka, paulit-ulit ho dito. And that's why I thank you, Mr. Chairman, for calling this hearing, because I know that a lot of people, especially our people from the great province of Bulacan, are expecting results. Last na po, Mr. Chairman, meron pa pong isa na binanggit tayo dito sa bulwagang ito, if we can play it. Just few seconds. Abang hinihintay po, Mr. Chairman, just to put on record, 2023, ang daily budget, and this is just DPWH alone. At binanggit po ito kanina ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. In 2023, just DPWH alone, 1.079 billion a day budget. A day budget. 2024, DPWH alone, 1.342 billion pesos a day budget. 2025, this year, Mr. Chairman, 1.377 billion pesos a day budget. A day budget, DPWH alone. In the NEP for this coming 2026, in the NEP, 1.08 billion pesos a day again in the DPWH alone, Mr. Chairman. Can we play this video, please?
Management, National Government Budget. Ngayong taon po, 2024, mas mataas po ang inilaan na budget ng Kongreso para sa DPWH alone. Dito po sa flood management, nasa 1.35 billion kada araw. Meron po ang DENR, meron din po ang MMDA, meron din po ang Pag-asa, meron din po ang Climate Change Commission. Aabutin po ito ng 1.44 billion kada araw. Hindi na po band-aid solution ang ating kailangan. Hindi po natutuwa yung mga kababayan natin na dinadala natin sila sa evacuation center. Kahit may dala po tayong relief goods, hindi na po sila natutuwa. Hindi naman po nila gustong pumipila lagi para makakuha ng relief goods, Mr. President. Wala na pong gusto na pumipila para makatanggap ng relief goods. Ang gusto nila, solusyon. Hanggat wala po tayong klarong solusyon o master plan, mananatili po itong anli baha. Pero hindi po anli ang resilience ng ating mga kababayan. Hindi po anli ang ating pondo. Hindi po anli ang buhay ng ating mga kababayan.
Mr. Chairman, July 29, 2024, ang privilege speech na yan. Mr. Chairman, I can go on and on. I have few more videos to show pero hindi ko na po i-show lahat, Mr. Chairman. Alam po ni Secretary Bonoan yung 3 beses na mga pagdinig dito. Tinalakay namin yung assessment, tinalakay namin yung paggawa ng feasibility study. Ang sakit lang, Mr. Chairman, is that for the past 4 years, 1 billion a day DPWH budget lang for flood control. And hindi ko alam, Mr. Chairman, kung paano natin kayang harapin yung taong bayan na gigising sa umaga, lulusong sa baha, magtitimpla ng kape. Aalis ng bahay nila, lulusong sa baha para magtrabaho. Babalik sa bahay nila, lulusong ulit sa baha para magtrabaho. At wala pa hong bagyo yun. At ginagastusan ng 1 billion a day for the past 4 years. Tama po ang Pangulo, dapat i-review ang mga flood control program ng ating pamahalaan, panagutin ang mga may sala sa baha. Mr. Chairman, dear colleagues, ako na ho yung makikiusap personal muli sa 3 taon na ito na may mangyari na po sa ating mga ginagawa dito dahil uulitin ko, hindi ho anli ang pasensya ng ating mga kababayan. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Joel. The next is Senator Jingo Estrada, Senate President pro tempore.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will just waive my opening statement. I would like just to ask one question. Are the contractors that were invited by this committee present? Are all of them present here?
I think 11 responded, but only 7, according to the Director General, managed to send representatives.
Why, what happened?
Karamihan sa kanila, Senator Jinggoy, nagkasakit lahat. Iba siguro ni nervyos. Sana
So, Mr. Chair, with that, I move that we subpoena them for next hearing.
ng motion
Madam-
si Senator Bato na
So I will just waive my opening statement so we can proceed with the questioning of these officials concerned.
Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman,
Mr.
just a quick intervention to the subpoena. May I recommend to our President Pro Tempore to subpoena the owners of the corporations, not merely representatives. Kasi na subukan na natin dito yan, pag representatives, wala hong isasagot ho yan. So doon po sa General Information Sheet, Articles of Incorporation, nakasulat ho doon sino may-ari. Papuntahin ho yung may-ari at presidente ng kumpanya. I so move.
Yes, I agree with the suggestion of Senator Gatchalian. I second the motion.
as practicable, let us invite the owners, the head, the most responsible officer of the corporations involved. Pero kung halimbawa talaga namang may legal excuses, ang ipadadala nila somebody who can bind the corporation. Yung makakasagot din sa atin, to be practical. So, I will now call Senator Mark Villar for his opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very short lang. I just like to express my support to the committee dahil napaka-importante po ang layunin ng ating hearing ngayon dahil kailangan natin malaman kung ano nangyari, kung anong dapat gawin para ma-maximize yung budget sa flood control. Ang Pilipinas po ay napaka-prone